On program.
What's up, everybody? We're still alive. We still do this once in a while. Welcome back to the show. Different look, different setup, but we're hanging out, we're having fun. Star Wars world is dead. Ain't much going on. Ain't much going on right now. I'm just gonna keep it a buck and a half with you. We've been just hanging out. We've been thinking, what should we talk about? And we'll have an idea. We could do that, but also we could not. And the knot has been winning lately. It's been cleaning up. It's been getting wins for sure. So, but either way, I'm really excited to get back together, check in. We're just gonna hang out tonight. Maybe do a little trivia. Maybe just talk about what's been going on. I got 3 so far. I know Andy's coming later, but I got Taylor. I got Michael, and of course, I'm here with y'all as well. So yeah, welcome. How's everybody doing? What's been going on? I'll start with you, Taylor. How's life treating you?
I'm still here, so
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna ask.
That's great. Yeah, I'm glad you're still with us. That would have been very disappointing if something adverse had happened. What about you, Michael? Anything
All
going on?
good. Not too much. Like I just said before the show, get my 3D printers back up and running. Hopefully, gonna fill out some of my my collection of helmets and things like you got back there. So let's see what's going on. Get some
You're
time coming up,
responsible
some
for
free time
half of
coming
my
up.
helmet collection. So
Right.
yeah, man, ain't nothing really going on over here. I'm just traveling, doing my job, and then draining Baja Blast on the weekends. So living the dream, living the dream. But yeah. So what's new in the world of Star Wars? There really hasn't been much. I mean, there's an audio drama that Michael you just told me about today. Do you know anything about that? Can you spill some tea or even just the headline? Because I don't know anything other than that it exists.
I was trying to actually come up with a list because there are quite a few books coming out, including those audiobooks. But I saw there's 2 new Amazon exclusive audio drama productions. They're free if you already have Audible and are an Amazon shill like the rest of us. So that's cool. The one was about Luke Skywalker, and one was about the other thing that I sent you on the Discord. Join the Discord.
Absolutely.
What was it?
Because that well, and
Oh, it
that's
was
a good plug.
Anakin.
You should join the Discord because when there's nothing to do on Star Wars and we don't want to record a live stream talking about nothing, we stream on there all the time. We just hang out and it's low pressure. It's just vibes. We're all just hanging out. Maybe we play poker. Michael Mason's working on being able to play Sabacc like in Outlaws, so we're all going to be able to hang out and do that as well. So definitely join the Discord and chill with us. It's a great time. Dylan's here. Welcome, Dylan. Yeah, you should definitely make sure that you are around, man. It would be a really good time hanging out there. I clicked on Star Wars Newsnet trying to see what's going on, and then accidentally clicked the banner ad. So now I'm looking at Toyota Camrys.
Well, we do have the Glass Abyss, which is coming out October 15th. That's the Mace Windu book. So that's cool.
Right.
That's kind of the first one-off Mace Windu book coming out.
Yeah.
When is that?
It's set
when he's
right
alive.
after Episode 1. Right after The Phantom Menace is when it's set. Yeah, I'm interested in that one. That'll be cool. I think it's Stephen Barnes who did the Cestus Deception in Legends, so that'll be interesting. It's kind of cool that they're bringing him back. Of all the Legends guys to bring back, he wouldn't have been at the top of my list. No disrespect, but I would have much rather had like a James Luceno come back or something. But hey, any step is a good one.
I think
there's no news when. There's no news when Star Wars Newsnet is also out here doing like character spotlights. It's great. Michael, did you ever play this? The Jedi Power Battles?
No.
Yeah, I don't know this either.
Well, it doesn't look like it's coming out yet.
Well, it's a
A sequel or
re-release.
something.
Yeah, it's a
E.K.
remaster.
Johnson just had a release Star Wars book. It was the Kira book that just came out. I
Wait,
think I
really?
just
That's out?
yeah, I think so. I think it just came out.
So there's Stories from Beyond the Storm Wall. That looks cool. I just don't really keep up with the comics.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
either,
that's a good
unfortunately. We need
question. There's rumblings about
uh
Obi-Wan. Do we want that? I don't know if I want that. I feel like the
I
dinguses that hate new things might, but I guess they'll probably hate
I take
that too. I don't know.
even if it's milk, I'll still drink it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be here
Go for it.
for it for sure. Like, yeah. I
A new High Republic book did just come out. Tears of the Nameless, but I
is that a
think it's
was that a YA or
yeah, I think it's a YA. Yeah, young adult novel. Just came out September 24th. 400
okay?
pages.
Hmm,
It's a short
I
one.
might check that
George
out. I
Mann
haven't.
wrote it. Dude, I tell you, the thing that really kills it for me though is because we talk about this all the time that I do the audio books and they didn't used to do this, but now Star Wars is really have like main tier and then B tier books where
Yeah,
they very clearly like this one has license to use Star Wars music and sound effects and they actually go all out with voices and stuff. And then these other ones that seemingly at random because they all seem rather important to the main storylines, especially in High Republic. Some of them just get offloaded onto this B tier audiobook production. It's really sad because like it kills the experience a little bit when you have this like really weird muzak or just generic music playing instead of John Williams, which for something like Temptation to the Force, man, the John Williams in that book in the audio production really helped sell what was going on.
dude. Especially every time
It's
Across
very
the Stars
important.
played. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
huge. That was
I
huge.
mean, listen, they touched hands, Taylor. That's all we're saying.
Okay.
You know, okay, so like we'll do it more in the book club, but like
Yeah,
you made me feel like that was gonna be smut. Like you were
it
like
really wasn't.
To
It
be
was
fair,
just too
that's the
Andy
much.
and
impression he
Reba.
gave.
Yeah,
It
like
really
Andy
was
and
not
Reba are
that
gonna
bad.
love this. It's gonna be so like that man. I'm like, well, you get that in Temptation of the Force. And I'm reading it. And I'm like, I mean, they went to prom, I guess. Like that was the vibes
They
that I got.
definitely did more than going to prom, but it was also like still relatively tame. If it was any more, oh dear.
We
Hang
lost
on.
Taylor. She might be putting her
Locked
phone
in.
on vibrate.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
We
still
can
hear
hear
you.
you. Are you the one
Okay.
who's getting the phone calls?
It ain't me.
Yeah, hang on. I'm working on things. Keep
Oh
talking.
man. All right, so I'm looking at the news here, and the only articles that I've been able to see,
Oh,
are all related to the internet and
yeah,
the culture,
it's
as it
nonsense.
were, and we've kind of addressed that a little bit. I mean, the only blip that's happened since then, regarding that was Jody Turner Smith, made a public statement in addition to what Amanda had said, and I don't think there's any new ground to break there, other than I think we all kind of agree that it's garbage what happened, and it's frustrating to varying levels and in varying respects, but depending on who's talking. But I think that's all generally held sentiment here. When we get Taylor back, though, I am curious about
I think she's still here.
Marvel.
I'm still here.
Um,
I'm just attempting to fix this camera.
okay.
And the Mace Windu
Well,
book comes out on Tuesday, for the record.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
That's interesting. I might have to cue that up.
I'm seeing
I'll
a
be
lot. There's a
bringing the
Force
wife.
Unleashed
I'll
book.
be bringing the wife with me on this next trip, so I probably won't read it then. But maybe next trip after that, I'll have to check it out. Hey, we got a good bit going on in the
There
chit
we
chat
go.
over here.
What's
Let
up,
me check it
Travis?
out here.
We want to see
Uh,
Obi-Wan being a Tatooine vigilante, become
yeah. So
the new
Dylan's
ghost
talking
of
about
Tatooine or whatever.
Kenobi season 2. I don't know, man. I'm apprehensive as heck about that. What would they even do? I mean, unless they cook up something really good. Taylor's
It's
upside
not.
down.
It's not.
I mean, they
Something
could
really
have
wrong happened.
Obi-Wan going around and
What happened?
systematically offing all of the
Inquisitors.
Inquisitors, because they have to
The
go away
only
eventually.
thing. Well, there's not.
We could have Maul come back, and they could live action that whole thing.
That would be a
It'd be
statement for
cool.
sure. But I mean, that
Could
would
be
just be a
cool.
big old bowl of member berries, which would be frustrating to me. But I guess I get it.
I mean,
It
if
would.
they
It
if
would
they
be.
do it well.
It would be kind of frustrating. What is Scott Taylor?
Have you tried turning off auto rotate? This is quite an
Dude,
angle.
I'm dead. What the heck? I don't have a scene queued up to get rid of you. So I want to, but
I mean, we could see more Qui-Gon in Obi-Wan season 2. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. But I mean, I feel like they should just do shorts for that, or make a movie about his PTSD or something. Like do it.
Wasn't
I
the
don't know.
Obi-Wan
It would
series
be
already
tough.
a short?
I mean, I'm talking
It was
like
supposed to be a miniseries.
like Trials of the Force or whatever that one with Zuko is. You know what I'm talking about?
Zuko.
Travis, I'm glad you're here, brother. We missed you. Definitely, you're definitely welcome to hang out with us when we do this. All right, Taylor. I don't know what we've been just hanging out on Discord instead of doing this show because there's nothing really to talk about. Is basically where we're at. So
Try spinning.
Travis,
That's a good
definitely,
trick.
yeah, honestly, dude, this show is wild. This show is wild. Oh man,
So accurate.
Ed,
though.
can you just invert her image?
I don't even know if I can. Yeah, let me see if I can. That's a good point, Michael. Thank you.
If you can, that'd be great. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'm gonna try other things.
Let's see here. Screen
That
one,
Star Wars
zoom,
Bestiary thing is coming out in November.
Camera options, rotate.
Oh,
Rotate.
oh
There
snap. Here we go.
Okay, cool. Let me. Fine, y'all.
It's a circus, y'all. This is
This
hilarious.
is high
All right.
production value stream right here.
Um,
So they're reprinting the Aftermath novels in December? That's interesting.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. You're overdue for reading those, Michael. That would be interesting. And they're canon, so they check your box. If you read those, I'll reread them with you, and that would be a good. Well, so that you do it. It would be a good. It would be a good book club. We could do that.
I think I can make that happen.
I
think I already own a couple of them too.
Dylan says Power Battles is legit. I would definitely love your opinion on that. That would be pretty cool. Travis says in New Hope, Ben mentions how Mos Eisley can be rough. He'd like a story of Ben becoming that desert vigilante, meeting Sebulba, Watto, and Kister, helping them find their way. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
That's a good pitch. That's a good pitch.
For a comic
that could
book,
happen.
I feel like
yeah, that's where I'm at with most of the Obi-Wan stories. Like they kind of shot their shot with Vader, and I don't know, man.
They'd have to do something really like episode 4, A New Hope starts with her saying like, years ago you served my father, blah blah blah, right? Like we're not just pretending like she didn't see him 5 years ago at this rate. So what? I feel like the more that Obi-Wan is active, the less.
I mean,
value
Travis
there is
talking
to him
about them
coming
invoking
back.
the clones is interesting, but I honestly never really took Obi-Wan as the biggest like guy who cared about the clones. You know, not that he didn't care about the clones, but he also low-key didn't really care about the clones. If you look at the movies, you know, the shows he kind of did, but.
He wasn't Anakin. That was one of the interesting things about Anakin is Anakin actually cared. You see that a lot in the very opening sequence of episode 3. Anakin's like, I'm gonna go back and help him, and Obi-Wan's like, nope, they were bred for that, to die. Let them go.
Yeah.
I do think there's a lot of material. There's a lot of material in the Kenobi book from Legends that's actually really good and sort of touches a little bit on how Ben kind of settles into life. So there's room there where they could, now that Obi-Wan's out of his like depressed stage, they could show him sort of settling in, but
I mean, there's a plethora of other Order 66 survivors or other characters, not just Jedi, that he could interact with. But also, we're sort of ignoring the actual thing that he said in the comments, which is that he wanted to do more flashback sequences with Anakin or with Hayden, and he wants to wear the Clone Wars armor. So if we got an Obi-Wan season 2, maybe it's a prequel season and it's just some like unexplored episodes of Clone Wars with what's her name coming back as young Ahsoka. Like, I would watch a live action Clone Wars series for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just de-age the whole time.
I mean,
they'd run out of money so fast, man.
I don't know, dude. AI is making that a lot easier these days. It's a lot cheaper to de-age people.
Travis says Aftermath Book 1 is his favorite, or a nostalgic one for him. Yeah, that would be fun to have you talk Aftermath with us, Travis, especially since I know you like that one. I don't remember liking that one too much. I loved it toward the end, but yeah, so we'll have to sucker you into yapping about Aftermath with us when the time comes.
I love Dylan's pitch.
Let's see. Is this most recent one here? Yeah, Vader hunting Jedi and using Hayden as much as possible.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, Disney owns the rights to Vader's voice too, so
yeah,
they can.
And as Michael points out, every chance he gets, and on some of the ones he doesn't, there are a lot of Jedi that still survived. So
yeah, dude, there's so many Jedi.
But wouldn't that be
more named Jedi who survived?
Wouldn't that be a dark show though? Man, just every week, like,
dude, just going around a new cameo that gets just totally slaughtered by Vader. I mean, honestly, everybody really did appreciate that about Rogue One. We finally kind of got to see Vader back in his place.
Mm-hmm. Well, and plus, everyone was excited for the Acolyte when we thought we were going to see the Sith more in their heyday, and hoping to see some of that action. So,
I got it.
Everyone was excited for that, weren't they?
And then Ep 5 happened, and we were happy. And then after that, we were just like, okay.
That's what you get. But no, Dylan. Before we move on, Michael, I'm sorry, but yeah, Dylan said Travis will do Aftermath and he'll do Power Battles. I would love that. I don't know the first thing about Power Battles, and that would be awesome. You're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I'm still trying to make my way through Outlaws here.
Learns that Qui-Gon haunts him when he yeah, that would be interesting.
This is what we do: is we get a live action show where it's Force Ghost Ewan McGregor playing old Alec Guinness Obi-Wan, telling stories to de-aged Mark Hamill. Where they constantly flash back to the Clone Wars. Where you got de-aged, you get de-aged Hayden, you get de-aged. You just get back and
while
forth.
We're here.
Basically, it's live action, but the whole thing is CGI, kind of like the Disney Lion King kind of stuff.
Just use AI Alec Guinness, while you're at it.
Yes. Well, actually, speaking of that, did you see the lawsuit, which is sort of a joke, but the lawsuit against Disney for Peter Cushing?
Yeah, I saw that.
I assumed it was all a joke. Just like how every 3 weeks I see some BS article that says that some organization has sued the Washington Commanders so they could rename them the old name. I'm like, let it go. Sorry, I know the worlds are blending here, but I'm like, you guys gotta just let it go.
A little, like, they did actually go to court and they didn't get it just thrown out, but basically some small firm in England that had made a movie that didn't even get made with Peter Cushing claims they own perpetual rights to the use of his face. And so despite the fact that Disney has permission from Peter Cushing's estate, or had, to make the movie and have him in there, this random firm is like, no, it doesn't matter what the family thinks, we own his face. And it's just kind of they're probably just hoping Disney settles them with a few, $1 million and just swats them away so they can go and live in peace.
See, but that infuriates me even more, and I should have known better, because I thought the clickbait was that the family had some issue with it, and I was like, well, I thought they got that squared away.
Nope.
So yeah, that's just it's the same old thing of the
trying to profiteer off of a dead person.
The Darth Maul trilogy, you remember that? The Darth Maul series that's coming, and he's in the Black Series action figures.
Oh gosh, yes.
That's my favorite one of late. Let's see. Yeah. During the time between episode 5 and 6, the murderous Vader became a sorrowful one who didn't strangle anyone. Vader going off by himself, seeing the last story of Anakin Skywalker would be cool.
Man,
that would be really neat, Travis. That would be a really, really good pitch if they haven't already really done a lot with Vader in that time period in comics and everything else, and really kept his motivations pretty much in lockstep. I mean, there's some, like, he softens a little about his kid, but for the most part, he's kind of the same dude.
He's still very Vader.
I also think that you run the risk of kind of like what they've done with Han Solo by changing his character from a scoundrel to a good guy pretending to be a scoundrel. You sort of discredit any sort of character development that happens there. So it's not really like he became a good guy. He was always a good guy. And so the same thing with Vader. I think you might discredit Luke in episode 6 actually turning him and him making a big decision there if you sort of weaken his resolve before that point.
Yeah, it's like I was right on the fence. I just needed to push.
Granted, the ILM produced virtual reality game, Vader Immortal, 3 parts. It's only like 6 hours total, maybe. If you have access to a VR headset, you should really play it because it's really cool, and it does explore some of Vader and what he's doing during those times and more of his emotional state. It's really cool, and also you get to like stand there and look up to like a nearly 8-foot tall Darth Vader who kind of chucks you across the room a couple times. So pretty cool.
Next time I'm in
really cool
in your
game.
Neck of the woods, we'll have to do that. That would be fun.
Absolutely. Really cool and really cheap. So,
Ed, random question. When I was messing with my camera, I felt like I heard you say you had a question for me, but I also thought I heard you mention Marvel. So now I'm like, is that...
Well, you had put in the Discord that you were watching Agatha.
Yes.
Whoa,
is it solid?
Is this off
what's
program?
What's
what
the
are we
deal?
doing? What are we doing?
Just like, this we're just hanging out. I put it in the title of the stream. We're just hanging
out.
You
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching it. I actually really like it.
Yeah?
It's a good watch for October. Very Halloween vibes. It's obviously spooky. Obviously spooky, obviously follows witches and magic and covens and things like that, which is not generally my style, but I feel like they've injected enough humor into it that it doesn't feel as dark as it otherwise would. But yeah, Catherine Hahn's amazing. They have a good storyline set up.
I feel like Marvel always is kind of like the Taylor Swift of cinema, where like, oh, we're gonna put a little dubstep in there, but it's still gonna be Taylor Swift. Oh, we'll put a little, like it's still kind of like you get your taste of whatever you want, but it's still Marvel. So yeah, that'd be interesting. I don't know. We've been having a little. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's one of the first things they've done lately that I've actually liked. I have not been a big fan of Marvel's content for a while.
Yeah, I enjoyed like Loki. I think that was one of the more recent things that I've enjoyed. But yeah, for the most part, like I've said repeatedly, I've been fairly out on Marvel. But I'd be interested in giving that a go. What's up?
What's that about that reaction?
I don't know. Sorry, total aside, actually Star Wars related. No offense. I did not know that the Ahsoka book, the E.K. Johnson Ahsoka book that I have often lamented has been trampled on. I didn't know that they've actually changed and edited that book. Apparently they've done it twice. Apparently once they did it because of a mistake in the book where a character calls her Ahsoka when she's definitely not supposed to be revealed yet. And then one is because this was released before the end of Clone Wars last season showed up, where in that show, Anakin gives her lightsabers but changes the colors to blue. There's that book I think also covers part of the sequence when she's like at Padme's funeral or something. There's some sort of event in flashback that occurs when it clearly mentions her lightsabers being green and they're not supposed to be green. So they've actually edited that to comply with the Clone Wars show, which is interesting to me that they would go that far and then still leave the Tales of the Jedi things just blaring right there to, be what they are. So I don't know. But I didn't know that they had.
Well, they didn't want to give you everything you wanted. They didn't want to be like, "Hey, Michael B, this is for you."
But this is more than jean shirt guy being removed from Mandalorian, right? Like that would be if they just changed the Ahsoka to Ashla thing. But actually going back to change the color, it's an interesting way to sort of maintain continuity. It's a literal retroactive continuity in this case. Yeah, Marvel has been struggling. Yeah, Disney's been struggling. Let's be real.
Content has been struggling.
Moana 2 coming out. Moana 2 coming out, trying to save them.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll land. Loki was a good show.
I liked Loki. Yeah.
Yeah, Loki was solid.
Loki was low-key good.
Great. Yeah.
No one's ever made that joke before.
All right.
You know what else was low-key good?
From you, Michael.
The Acolyte.
Yeah.
I know.
Sorry.
Well, and that's what brought this whole conversation up, right? Like, for those.
Are we still doing our rewatch, by the way?
I have
no. Nobody wants to rewatch anything. I've tried. Everyone in the Discord is like, let's rewatch.
It's really a struggle. Like, I made it through 4 or 5 episodes, and I have like a page of notes per episode, but it's painful because ultimately every major critique, like there are minor critiques to the show, and there are minor critiques to every Star Wars show, and I make them right every time. But the major critiques were all things that could have or should have or maybe even would have been explained by a season 2. Things that just didn't really make sense, and were like, oh, this clearly has a purpose. It just doesn't make sense in this episode, or it's not explained. Why is this happening? And it never gets resolved, and it never will at this rate. So those things that were not really critiques, just question marks, become actual serious critiques when rewatching a show. So it's kind of just heartbreaking to watch it now, because you're just like, that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, that's all you're going to get, and it's not really fair to critique it that way, because, that's like when I watched Terra Nova and they canceled it, and I was like, well, now the end doesn't make sense,
Right. So true. That was a good show, too. You believe they stole that bad guy for Avatar?
I know. They were just like, this is great. Every bit of this is cool. What a Terra Nova sighting probably wasn't on too many people's bingo cards. Taylor, what were you saying, if you can remember?
Oh, yeah. No, I was just saying the reason the conversation about Agatha came up is because that article was saying that Agatha, the Acolyte, I don't know if it was just the first episode, or because the whole show's not out, so I don't know exactly what metrics they were using, but it said that the Acolyte actually did better than Agatha. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and just hi, Andy.
Andy's here? I didn't know that. Wait, I don't see Andy here. Sorry.
She's in the chat.
Oh.
She's here now supporting. So I don't know.
Andy, we have it all set up so you can join if you want, but if you don't, then no pressure. It's all good. Up to you. But anyway, yeah, with the thing about those articles, I was curious because the things I was seeing was all the same, hateful little mud monsters taking a victory lap again about, Agatha not performing.
Mud monsters. I love that. That's like the softest core insult ever. I love it so much.
I'm out here trying to speak my mind without,
I love it.
Getting too out there.
It so much.
But yeah, no, I just they were making their victory laps about how Agatha sucked and everything, and I was like, well, I mean, I'm not watching it. It could be great. And then when you said it was solid, it kind of made me feel like we are in a season of just missing out on stuff. Like, there's a lot of content we're not going to get more of, or we're going to get Obi-Wan season 2 and Obi-Wan season 3 and Vader season 2.5, and it's just like, oh my gosh.
Well, and tired. I think this is something that's been.
They're trying to do something new with Skeleton Crew, but people are probably going to hate it before it comes out too.
They're trying to do something new with Skeleton Crew because they already had that made.
Yeah,
they would have been canceled.
No
Skeleton Crew. But I'm sorry, Taylor. What were you going to say?
Well, I'm trying to be interested in Skeleton Crew, but I have zero interest in it right now. But no, what I was saying earlier is this is just a thing going on with streaming services that I have been supremely annoyed by lately. I think they just judge too quickly how the show does, because I think some of these things need to sit for a month or two while people finish, whatever has just come out, and then they'll eventually get to the other show a lot of times, because so many really good shows have been canceled, or just not renewed for future seasons. And I get annoyed because I'm like, a ton of people watch this like in the second month as opposed to the very first month because things come out at the same time. So I just wish they'd start being a little more, I don't know, taking more into consideration.
I mean, that's what I said about Terra Nova, and nobody listened to me.
You and I talked about this too. We're like, man, remember back when you used to just watch shows and enjoy them, and like you didn't hear what the entire rest of the world thought. You just kind of watched it, and it was like, oh, it either got renewed or it didn't, but like you still enjoyed it, and that was cool.
Yeah,
it's just that whole like cottage industry of knowing whether or not you're supposed to like something before you even try it out. Like it's just wild.
It's not a new thing though. You know, stations and studios have canceled series that were total hits. They just didn't know it. I think of something like Firefly that I know Michael Mason hates, but it's a cult classic. It's a Joss Whedon special. Everybody loved it, but not when it was released. And part of that was because the studio thought it was boring and they decided to release it out of order. They're like, let's just release the exciting episodes first. And that, I mean, that's kind of how Clone Wars worked too. They just like picked an episode and like,
they did do that. Yeah.
But that one had, you know, enough of a following that I don't think it really mattered. So granted, it was close for some of us, you know.
But like
that's the little R2E and Snips and Sky Guy almost killed it for us.
I mean, the thing about like the fact that it's Star Wars pisses me off more than anything. Like we haven't seen this arc happen 18 times. 18 times. Like we all been here. Like come on, man. It just drives me nuts. But you know, we've been down that rabbit hole. I wonder if
the Acolyte is going to end up being or Acolyte, or you know, maybe not the last the Rise of Skywalker, but certainly the Last Jedi. I think is going to be this generation's Phantom Menace. I think there's going to be a generation that grows up on that. You're going to have Reba, or like the Reba generation, or those after that grew up and that was the first Star Wars they saw, and they're like, I don't care what you guys said, I actually liked this. And and eventually the haters,
especially with Last Jedi.
No way. Not wishing that on people. I'm just saying it's a fact.
I'm just saying
they will get old and die. Jedi,
you guys are still healthy, so you know. I don't know. I mean, and I wish that
it's
you'll
gonna
be hating
like
for a
20,
very long
30
time.
years. Actually, these days it's going to be longer than that. So.
All right, let's catch up on chat here.
His dead uncle is alive next week. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I saw that too, Travis. That's wait, why isn't my button working? Yeah, there were so many continuity things, dude. It broke me as a kid. I'm watching it. I saw that one. I saw Admiral Trent show up a couple of times. Like, wait, why are we back on Christophsis? What happened?
Right, what is happening?
What? Yeah. But yeah, whatever. I never watched My Name Is Earl. I heard good things about that show, but yeah, never got around to that one. Dylan talks about ROP. Oh, that must be the Rings of Power. Is that's what we're talking about?
Oh yeah. So it's
that's
funny.
Another one that I heard was dumb, woke, and gay, and all the things from all the mud monsters.
Yeah, so that one was funny because I saw a hilarious and again very equivalent and parallel comment thread where somebody posted a scene that happened probably in the last episode of the second season of Rings of Power, and they're like, okay, so like, I hate this show because XYZ blah 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 mud monster reasons, right? But this scene was cool. This was like one of the coolest scenes in all of Lord of the Rings ever. Like this was really cool. And the top comment was like, good job. You finally stopped judging and started just enjoying. I was like, yes. Yeah. Like you finally just turned that part of your brain off and just watch the dang show and enjoy it.
Yeah.
You don't have to critique everything. That's our job, you know, and we're trying to do that with a measured approach. But like you can just enjoy something. It's not, you don't have to listen to other people's opinions about it.
Well, and
we
also,
say while publishing our opinions on everything.
I mean, well, that's where my critique of what you were saying is. The caveat to that is it's not don't critique things. It's don't prejudge things. Form your own opinion. Enjoy it for yourself. That's the wrinkle to what you're saying. Because I know we agree on this, but it's just like, you know, I posted the Pillar of Garbage thing I keep coming back to with the fire in space. It's like, we've had this so many times. You only care about that because
they had
your
crackling
internet
campfire sounds.
I cared about it. Your internet person told you to hate it. Like, it's like, man, we've had fire in space 80 million times, like this is only an internet thing because you care about it more now. And it's the same with this show, I guess. I haven't seen Rings of Power, and I'm not
Dylan,
the biggest
I
Lord of the
absolutely
Rings guy.
agree. We really need to get the whole off-program thing up and running because I would love to do an episode or two
look, man,
on a show like this.
There's hella open Fridays right now. If you want to do an off program, I'll sit in the corner and take notes, man. We can do whatever.
We've talked about something like, Avatar: The Last Airbender. We could compare the live action stuff that came out that's been some controversy.
That would be fun.
You guys could do a Marvel segment, We could have somebody whose job it is to drink that dog water.
Sounds like it's Taylor right now.
I'm telling you, this is actually good.
I'll check it out. I don't go in for the spooky stuff usually, but maybe I'll have to check it out.
I'm a complete baby when it comes to anything horror. I don't do it. Like Michael will tell you, I do not do it. So it is not
Smile too.
Yeah, as long as there's no spiders, she's solid. Spiders are, that's it.
Spiders, I get it. I don't mess with spiders either. I know Taylor, you said you had to run at 10. Let's do some trivia questions before Taylor leaves, and then we'll probably leave with her. I put in ChatGPT. I just went. I said, give me some hard Star Wars trivia questions. Okay, so we'll just speed run them out. What's the name of the Wookiee homeworld? We'll start with something really hard. Put it in the chat. I'm just kidding. Who doesn't know that? Who's confused? Yeah, that's Kashyyyk. We all, Taylor, who was the Jedi Master? Yeah, I'm gonna call on people now, or you can raise your hand. Who wants to raise their hand? Do you want to raise your hand? Or you want me to call on you like it's a class? How do we want to do this? Raise a hand. All right. Who is the Jedi Master that ordered the creation of the clone army?
You can't even see your hand.
Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in the movie, they say it was Sifo-Dyas, but it was actually Dooku pretending to be Sifo-Dyas, claiming to be Sifo-Dyas. So the answer should be Master Dooku.
Pretty sure it was Sifo-Dyas either way. Dooku was the one who erased the planet from the archives, right?
No, he captured. He had like Sifo-Dyas in a tube, right? Like he had him captured. And he pretended to be Sifo-Dyas when he did those things, but he wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah,
Dooku's
definitely the one.
Somebody fact check me. Somebody fact check me. We got Dylan over here. I'm sure Dylan or Travis know. But like obviously the movie answer is it's Sifo-Dyas because that's what they say. But I think that has since been retconned.
What is the name of General Grievous's flagship, which is destroyed at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith?
Ah, crap! I know this.
A slight nod to Adam Smith.
It's been too long since I've seen this, guys.
It's the something hand or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember the something hand.
General Grievous, the free market economist. The invisible hand.
The invisible hand, yeah.
Dang it.
Kind of a silly name for a gigantic spaceship.
That is in no way invisible.
It doesn't go invisible.
unless you're
kind of like those
Lucas
cloaking systems
and you're trying
on those shuttle pods that leave the ship with hyperspace enabled. They could have gone anywhere.
Dylan agrees with you, Michael. I think you're right, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Malevolence.
I was thinking Malevolence is
the name of the. That's the other ship. That's the ship that shoots the big ring.
Malevolence.
Malevolence.
Oh man,
why was that in my head?
What character is partially named after George Lucas's son?
Oh, I have no clue.
You don't? Nobody?
Hammerhead.
Is that Jukasa, the Padawan?
Named after a shark.
Jukasa?
Is that Jukasa?
Oh, yeah.
It's Jet Lucas.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Travis,
I
you're
love
the
it,
best.
Travis. It's a
You're the
seasonal
best.
joke. Brilliant.
Well, shoot. Dexter
kinda
Jetster
suck
could have
trivia.
worked. It's probably true. I don't know. I maybe you're right because it's Jet Lucas, so it's probably both. It's probably a double dip question there. You know, I think you're right, Travis. Let's see. Let's ask him
This
for
might
more.
be something that has actually changed. Sorry, I'm going back to the Dooku thing. This might have changed in canon because of the arc when they discovered that they used the pikes to kill him off, and there was this like secret mission thing. Like very recently, Clone Wars history might have actually re-canonized that Sifo Dyas himself was the one who ordered the clone army, because it might have been
we'll have to do a deep
an
dive.
old canon.
I said,
would he have
more
done that
please.
under the influence of one of the Sith?
Yeah, so like he was receiving visions and stuff, and he was constantly being plagued by visions, and had seen visions of an army destroying the Republic or something like that. So he was freaking out, and he had petitioned.
He was like,
to
"Shoot, might as
have
well
the
be
army
me."
created. Well, he petitioned either the Council or the Republic for them to make an army, but they said no. It was just unclear as to how that worked, because it would make sense if he had gone that far, if they had influenced him that far, to not let him be the one to do it, and to go ahead and commission the army in his name, so no one would be shocked when an army appears and like, oh, of course he did, right? But in reality, he wasn't the one who did it. It was Sidious and Dooku working behind the scenes. I don't know. Dooku wasn't also at a certain point wasn't really involved with the Sith until after Episode 1 nowadays. New canon is right, because he kills Yaddle. He kills Yaddle and joins the dark side only after Qui-Gon dies. That's what puts him over the edge, according to the Tales of the Jedi.
He had already been working with Sidious quite a bit, though. I mean, all the things he had done. He said so in that scene that you're talking about.
I don't know, because he did leave the Jedi before that, so who knows?
Yeah, it's like Sidious did not care about the Rule of Two at all. I mean, he did not care about it at all. Which is why another reason why it's like people lose their mind over minutia. I think never mind, doesn't matter. I said to ChatGPT, more please, also make them harder, and it's like, you got it. Some very difficult Star Wars trivia questions.
Because we've done so well already.
Star Wars.
What is the name of the creature that lives in the garbage compactor on the Death Star? I'm not talking first name like John. Yeah, way to go, Taylor.
Whoa.
Say it again.
Sorry.
Say it again.
I should have raised my hand.
Say it again.
Cool.
I was talking over you. Yeah.
Dude, you remember the tale? Okay. Wait. There's a story about that thing from a certain point of view book. There's a whole short story about that stupid thing, like floating through space and getting randomly accidentally abducted, and how it ends up on the trash compactor ship, or in the trash compactor. There's a whole story. It's weird, silly, weird.
Taylor's pulling up Death Star, the Michael Reeves or whatever, the old book, so she.
No, this is but also this is one of the old like Tales of the Empire. So I was curious if it was in this, because I know that's like the similar concept of the book Michael was just talking about.
It's the From a Certain Point of View book, which the canon nature of that book I still question. Although Qui-Gon appearing in the Obi-Wan series does make it more canon, so.
They've always said it's a mix, It's a mix of, like
from a certain point of view.
Tarkin is very much a active gay man in those, and that's a dubious piece of canon. Who knows, right? See you later, Dylan. Peace of Roonies. It says, which actor was originally cast as Anakin Skywalker in The Phantom Menace before Jake Lloyd?
I don't know that.
Alternate universe where we get this. Like, this is amazing.
It wasn't Jake
Gyllenhaal. Was it Leonardo DiCaprio? No.
Yes, it was.
Me too.
Yep.
It was.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Leo.
Cool.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm kind of glad we didn't
What
get
is the name of the Jedi Temple librarian in the prequel trilogy?
Think of all the 25-year-old Star Wars fans you'd be dating. All right, I didn't even hear the question.
Do you want to answer librarian? I know it, but I'll let you
Jocasta Nu? What?
Yeah,
Jocasta Nu. In which Star Wars film can you find an Easter egg of E.T. species appearing in the Great Senate, the Galactic Senate? No. Wrong.
Is
you
it?
lose.
It's not Attack of the
Isn't
Clones?
It's not Attack of the... You said
That's
episode 3.
First of all, you said 3.
No, yeah, you said no, and then it's not Attack of the... So it's episode 1. Oops. Whatever. It's one of the ones with the council. Wait. No, it's not.
No, I'm kidding. It's definitely Phantom Menace. I just didn't want to give it to you because you went like it's not C, it must be B. Oh, it's not B. Then I'm gonna say episode 1. Travis got it. Travis got it.
I was gonna say Travis got it.
Ain't no way Travis is missing the ET question. Come on now. All right. Well, that's probably a good enough time to GTFO. But yeah, maybe we'll do some more off-program stuff. Either way, I reiterate, if you're on the Discord, we hang out every Friday. We hang out a lot throughout the week, too. But anytime you see us in there, you're more than welcome. Just come hang out. Yeah, it's a hoot and a half. But otherwise, we'll see you next time. We'll be here, especially when there's more Star Wars to talk about. We'll talk about it, and we'll talk about it on program. We're still here. This is a show that still happens. I know it. You know it. The algorithm. Let's see. Smash the like. Drop a comment. Let us know what we should be doing instead of rewatching Star Wars shows. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's great to be here with y'all. We appreciate you guys hanging out. It was a lot of fun. And we'll see you next time on program.